going to come.
Well, hi there. I'm Jeanetta Jones along with my partner Declan Cannon. We're going to be talking about snow, cold temperatures, and rain, and warm temperatures. Believe it or not, we've got all of it. We're going to tell you about it piece by piece and then put it all together for your weekend forecast. How's that sound? Well, let's talk snow. First of all, Marquette, Michigan, 10 inches of snow, 7 inches of snow for Hibbing, Lander, 6. Fargo, 2. I left out Duluth, so let's take you there to Duluth, Minnesota, and show you the winter wonderland that was observed today as they woke up and tried to dig out and scrape out from under 8 inches of snow. How about that? It's fall on the calendar, but it looks like winter in Duluth. And you know what? You're going to see temperatures struggling into the 20s today and tomorrow. It's going to be a cold one. Snow history, well, across the Dakotas you got a light dusting, 1 to 3 inches of snow, but it got heavier as it moved on into portions of the Great Lakes. We do have some snow advisories in effect tonight for the UP of Michigan and northwestern sections of lower Michigan, and we could even see those winds backing on in as far south as South Bend, so expect the possibility of some snow there. It's been snowing all day in Denver, Colorado, and you've only picked up about 1 or 2 inches of snow, and you can see the snow still on the list there. High pressure is building in behind this front, and it has been a strong cold front. As it zoomed on into Texas, it brought rain and it brought colder temperatures, and we're seeing some windy conditions as well. Well, out ahead of the system, what do we have? We have mild to warm temperatures with that southwesterly flow. So the moisture is in place. You get the colder air slamming into the warm, moist air, and what do you have? Well, you know the story. You have the chance for some strong to intense thunderstorms, especially right about here, folks. In New York City, well, you're just socked in. Chance of scattered showers off and on all evening. 58 degrees, it's still mild in New York City, as well as Boston and D.C. Even milder as you head on down south into Atlanta. Enjoy the 70s while you can, because it's going to be cold later on this weekend. You see the cold air in Amarillo already. 34, 35 in Wichita, Kansas, and 23 in Bismarck. But it feels like 3 below. Told you that wind was strong. As it's howling on down towards Amarillo, it feels like 12 right now, and it feels like 23 degrees as you move on into Oklahoma City. Well, let's look at the satellite view, put it into motion. You'll be able to see how cold it is getting across parts of the central and southern plain states. Now, out ahead of that front, the clouds are brighter and they're wider, and they indicate the showers that are heavy at times across the southeast and the moisture that's in place across parts of the northeast. Let's look underneath these clouds and show you the deal in the northeast. We're talking rain, folks, from Caribou, Maine to Augusta, Boston, Falmouth, as well as on back towards Worcester, Massachusetts. They're all seeing rain. Tell you what, let's zoom in. There you have it, the rain from Boston to Bedford to Worcester and down towards Bristol and Plymouth counties. A mess on our hands for rush hour, and if you're planning on going out to dinner tonight, take it easy and make sure you grab that umbrella on your way out. I'm not going to tell you not to go, but be prepared for the rain. In Central Park and Newark, things are clearing out. You can see the rain to the south of JFK, but you could see some more showers moving on into the picture. Another batch back towards Hagerstown. Baltimore, D.C., don't think you're out of the woods quite yet, or Annapolis. Could see another shower or 2 before the night is over. And here we go with the showers and thunder showers across parts of the southeast, and we're talking snow across parts of the Great Lakes. Well, temperatures by Saturday are going to be much colder. I'll give you an idea of just how much could change to snow in Pennsylvania and New York State. Get ready for that. If you're headed to a football game, dress accordingly. You're going to have to prepare for rain first, then snow, and temperatures that will be lowering significantly. Here's where we think the most accumulations are going to occur, and we had our heaviest accumulations already. Temperatures real cold. So we're going to focus in on the temperatures instead of the snow. How about that? Highs only reaching into the 30s and the 40s for an expansive area of the country. It's going to be a cold day. However, in Southern California, while the winds are picking up tonight, those Santa Ana winds, we're going to watch them all night. Could be a problem tomorrow. Sunday, it stays cold in the northeast, but starts to warm up a bit in the Lone Star State. Monday, we got milder air to the south, but it stays cool across the north. Sunday, a dry pattern shaping up for the country. Monday, about the same story, just a little system moving across the Great Lakes with some snow. Well, that's the story for your weekend. Stay with us for your local weather. its feet on out of the way. 27 tomorrow morning in Chicago, 12 in Duluth, and keep in mind we've got the windy conditions and the snow continuing. May see some lake effect snow as far south as South Bend, Indiana, and on into portions of New York State and Pennsylvania. Head to the west, and those Santa Ana winds could pick up once again tonight and into tomorrow morning. Highs will be in the 80s in Los Angeles and plenty of sunshine. Stay with us for your local forecast.
Rain from the Gulf Coast to the northeast dampens your weekend plans.
Make traffic a nightmare, I'm sure. Is it going to end, and will the cold weather move in? Well, let's check it out. Here and there throughout the region across Long Island and on to the north and the south of the city. For the most part, JFK is reporting 56 degrees, 60 at Newark, and 58 for you guys in Teterboro. Looking at the satellite vantage point, you can see a big blob of moisture to your south, and you can see some bands of showers that will be moving across the region, probably just starting to taper off throughout this evening and into tomorrow. Let's take a look at the expanded view, and there you see the bright white clouds across the southeast. That's indicative of the showers and thunder showers that are rumbling through the deep south. Could see some hail and some very, very gusty winds there. Don't have to worry about the severe weather as we head on north into New England. What you have to worry about is the colder air that's about right here and is moving in your direction, so get ready for that this weekend. Looking at an up-close view of New York City, you can see that the rain has moved away, but we have another batch of precipitation moving through Harrisburg in your direction. Dover and Atlantic City getting a little bit of precipitation, and don't think you're out of the woods quite yet because you may see some more rain before it's all over. Current surface map looks like this. You can see the front is still to your west, and the snow is to your west as well. All right, let's take you through the next 5 days and talk about how one frontal boundary can change everybody's weather in a matter of 24 hours. First of all, look where it is by tomorrow morning, right across the eastern seaboard, and that chance of scattered showers will continue from New York City all the way down sort of near Jacksonville, Florida. High pressure building in behind this is bringing in the much colder temperatures. You're going to feel the cold weather in places like Amarillo and Dallas and Little Rock, Arkansas and Shreveport, and eventually that cold air will sweep on into the southeast as soon as the front moves on through. So first it brings you rain, then it lets in all of that cold air. Also, one interesting thing to note is that this high pressure system is producing an offshore flow again in Southern California. We don't think that the Santa Anas will be as much of a problem as they were earlier this week, but never give you a chance at some rain for the Pacific Northwest and a little snow for the higher elevations, while the east will be relatively dry by midweek. So cold this weekend, but warming up a little bit in the southeast by the middle of the week. Stay with us for your local forecast. We are going to tell you about snow, we're going to tell you about rain, we're going to tell you about cold temperatures and warm temperatures. We've got them all, and they're all in association with this particular frontal boundary. Can you believe that? It's already made its way towards the eastern half of the United States. Behind it, we've got a big area of high pressure that's brought in some very, very cold temperatures, and it's going to get even colder as we head on into the weekend. Well, underneath these clouds, what do we have? Well, it's lots of nice weather in the west with sunshine and warm, mild temperatures. It's been snowing for quite some time in Denver, but you haven't picked up that much in the way of accumulation. Here's where you've seen the most accumulations in the Great Lakes. We've seen a lot of rain across the southeast. In fact, we have the possibility of more severe thunderstorms. Why, do you ask? Well, because the colder air is slamming into the warmer air out ahead of the front, and that provides you with a clash zone or a battle line, if you will. And that's exactly where the thunderstorms are starting to break out. In the northeast, we are reporting a thunderstorm around Watertown, New York, just plain rain as you head on into Boston and Falmouth and Worcester, Massachusetts. They've had rain off and on. Now it's starting to clear on out, but you know what? It's probably not over. We expect a few more bands of showers to move through the Boston area. So if you're headed out to dinner or maybe to a movie, you might want to grab the umbrella just in case, just to be on the safe side. That umbrella came in handy today in New York City, didn't it? We told you yesterday you'd need the umbrella. At least the temperatures were not too cold. It was mild in the 50s. We expect that to be the case once again tomorrow, because you know what? That front is not going to quite make it through, and even though it does, we still have the chance at precipitation through tomorrow afternoon. Right now in New York City, we've got some spotty areas of showers near Central Park. okay is clearing out now. You can see a big batch of moisture to the south of Islip, Long Island. Newark is looking okay if you're flying in there tonight. May see some off and on showers. Same is true if you're headed out to Staten Island. Moving down towards Baltimore and Washington, D.C. and Annapolis. A couple of hours ago, we didn't see anything on this radar. Right now, we're seeing a band of showers move through. It looks like Dulles is getting a little bit of precipitation. Down to the southeast, we are talking showers, and we're talking a line of stronger storms just developing from around Birmingham on towards the Atlanta metro area. Could see some heavy downpours if you're out and about on this Friday evening. Take it easy on 285. It could get real slick. It's dangerous anyway without the rain, and then you throw the rain on there and it's not a real pretty picture. Well, I told you we've seen some snow, and here it is across the Great Lakes. We're going to see snow as far south as South Bend tomorrow. Let's see how much snow has already fallen as we go back to the maps now. There we go. A little bit of snow in the Dakotas as well as Wisconsin, but here's where we've seen the heaviest amounts of snow. Here are some specifics. There we have it, our front across the east with the low still kicking about in the Great Lakes and some winds that are howling. Temperatures are in the 20s in Minneapolis, in the 30s in Chicago, but out ahead of the front, 60s in D.C. 60s in Atlanta, while it's in the 20s in Amarillo, and it feels like 17. You factor in the wind and it feels like 2 below as you head on into Topeka. All right, let's check out tomorrow morning. High pressure and control could see some Santa Ana winds tomorrow morning that should be diminishing by tomorrow afternoon. But we're going to watch that for you tonight into tomorrow morning. West don't have to worry about anything precipitation-wise. The east, well, that's a different story. Temperatures are really going to be incredibly cold overnight. Remember last weekend? We're going to see about the same situation shaping up this weekend. Saturday's going to be a cold one from Wisconsin south to Louisiana. This looks more like a winter pattern than a fall pattern, but you take what you get, right? Sunday, look at that. The cool stuff moves on into New York City and Philadelphia and Boston, while we're talking 60s and 70s across parts of Florida, so maybe that's the place to be. It's also going to stay mild to warm across the southwest. Well, Sunday we get that system on out of the picture, and a new one starts to make its way across the Plain States into the Great Lakes, and we have some rain and snow showers for you, but for the most part a very dry weather pattern. So once we get rid of the front, the cold temperatures move in, but we don't have that much in the way of precipitation left. Stay with us now for your own local forecast. That offshore flow always gives you that Santa Ana potential, and that's why we're going to watch it very closely for you. And yes, we have that possibility of more rain along the eastern seaboard, including temperature shows you 20s across northern sections of Minnesota as opposed to 60s and 70s out ahead of that front. So we've got real big contrast in the two air masses here. Into Sunday, we'll see a little bit of a warm-up in Texas, but the colder air sweeps on into Boston, as well as Providence, Rhode Island, and Burlington, Vermont. Stays chilly in the east, and we see a new blast of cold air making its presence known on Monday with mild temperatures to the south. All right, Saturday, that's the big day as far as precipitation goes, the big day as far as football games go too. Sorry about that. Sunday gets a lot drier. We usher in a new system with some windy conditions, and that system is going to bring in some new snow showers across the Great Lakes, but nothing like what you've seen with this particular system we're dealing with right now. Stay with us and we'll take you traveling. Through the radars. There we have it in motion. We've got showers and thunder showers across the Southland. We've got rain over portions of the northeast, and back behind this front, colder air, windy conditions, and some snow. So we've got all kinds of things going on all at the same time. In the northeast, you're still out ahead of the front, and so the moisture is still in place and the mild temperatures are still in place, and we are talking about some rain. Boston is reporting some light drizzle, some rain in other sectors of the metro area, but it's looking okay right now. Light drizzle and fog could invade you in Central Park or even at JFK. Call ahead of time if you're flying into Newark anytime tomorrow. We expect some scattered showers in the forecast. Looking okay in D.C. and Baltimore, but rain to your north and east. And look at this, a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a big section of Georgia until 4 a.m. and we've seen some showers and thunder showers pop up.
Pile up the logs and...
We have got a lot of orange on this map from southern New England into the midsection of the country, and it's all because that front is slicing across the country.
2015. Watch the Friday Business Ladder coming up soon on the Weather Channel.